some factory made it for a penny and now you're putting it on thinking it's gonna make it elevated. That is not the look.
I went in there and I said, boom, boom, bam.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna Ezrins. I work in luxury fashion and I believe that fashion has the power to change your story. In today's video, we're gonna talk about why your looks are coming across cheap. Let's talk about it. Like I said in the intro, and as you guys know, I work in luxury fashion and I just pick up on small details when people are wearing an outfit that just instantly either give like, wow, she looks good, the outfit looks quality, or this is cheap. This is poorly made. And there's some things that I will suggest to help really just elevate the style. That's what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to be mean girls. We're not trying to pick at people who, you know, aren't my perspective of style, like don't have my style. That's not what we're trying to do. We're all trying to elevate together. So in today's video, I'm gonna share with you some key things that you need to look out for when you're shopping to ensure that you look good, that you don't look, that your shit don't look cheap. So let's get into it. So the first one, and I think the most important, is fabrication. There's many ways that you could go wrong. I mean, it's just like, especially when you're buying from more of those fast fashion brands or just like cheap Instagram brands, you really need to focus on the fabrication details to understand what you're truly getting. And it's like, I'm not that opposed to like synthetic fabric, because I do think that there are compositions that really work well and then that feel heavy and feel luxurious without being natural. But I think you definitely need to be mindful of just how it looks on you. So like, for instance, shiny leather. What are we doing? What are we doing? I feel like that's the easiest way to look so cheap, in my opinion. And not even in my opinion, this is fact. Shiny leather, stay away from it. It looks terrible. And I know that it's cheap and you're just trying to get the look. And if you are trying to get that look, then shop secondhand. Or if you're shopping at more fast fashion places or just more affordable places, then stay away from shiny leather. The one that looks like you could see it from a mile away. Look for more matte options, and also look at the lining as well. Leather should not wrinkle easily. So if your leather is lightweight and shiny, it's like you're already going into the wrong direction, and I would recommend that you focus on other options. Another fabric that really gets me, and it never looks good. I have to say, it really never looks good, is jersey. Jersey maxi dresses, jersey jumpsuits, they look so ill-fitting. They look like some factory made it for a penny and now you're putting it on thinking it's gonna make it elevated. That is not the look. Stay away from that. There's so many other fabrications that you could buy into that just feel a little bit more flowy, feel more natural and elevated, and just give you this a more stylish look than jersey, especially with the jumpsuits. Now, when you go into jumpsuits, I feel like jumpsuits are just very hard. It's very difficult to find a jumpsuit that really works well. Most of the time they don't. But if you do want the ease of a jumpsuit and it's like a one look, I get it. Go for more of a stiffer material. Because if it's a stiffer material, it's easier to be tailored, so it's not long. The crotch area is in the butt area looks better. It doesn't look like you're wearing a diaper underneath, or that you could see every dimple, crease, cellulite. Like, I mean, a stiffer material is something that I always look into. When I'm shopping for myself, I always look for more heavier materials, especially if it comes into outerwear, or I mean, it's just, yeah, I just really focus on more of like a heavier feel. Obviously with a shirt like this, it's more mesh and more easy. That's something that I don't have to consider. But if it's a jacket, I want to feel the jacket on me. I don't want it to be like this lightweight thing that you could just fling anywhere. It gets wrinkled and it just looks not right. So I always focus on the heaviness of the material, because that often is perceived as being a little bit more of quality. The second thing that is definitely making your outfits look cheaper than they are is just fit, and things just fitting too tight, and you seeing the threads or you seeing the fabrication stretch because it is so tight on you. It doesn't make sense. First of all, it's not comfortable. In order for you to feel your best and to really exude your best style, it needs to fit right. You know, it can't be so tight. So I would definitely move away from anything super tight. Me personally, I mean, I know a lot of people are not always into like super oversized, but I feel like the extreme of oversize is always going to be a little bit more elevated than being too tight, in my opinion. I just feel like the more fabric you have, the more it flows, the more it feels of quality, the more it feels like you spent a little bit more because there's extra fabric. When it is too tight, it just looks ill-fitting, and yeah, it just doesn't look good. Sorry. It just doesn't. I just don't see. I mean, obviously if you're wearing a corset, sure, but if it's too tight, and well, we can go into the next one. If you're constantly adjusting and you don't feel comfortable, that is a key indicator that something is very cheap. And honestly, you could have spent so much money on something, but if you, like, say if you have a mini dress and you feel really good in it, you want it to be super sexy, and you are constantly adjusting it down, or, you know, if you have just pants that need to be tailored, you know, like that are just flowing on the floor, it's dirty underneath, I would advise to just make sure that it fits your body type to perfection. And the last thing that I would say really makes your clothing look cheap is how worn it is. I don't care what anyone says. If a garment looks, if a piece looks old and tired and washed and distressed, I'm sorry, it looks cheap. It does. It looks like you didn't spend much on it. No matter how much you spend on it, it's always going to look cheap. I mean, in my opinion, I just would, if you're looking for more of an elevated look, a more of a mature look, I would stay away from like the Brandy Melvilles of the world, a lot of Free People. I mean, sometimes you could find some key pieces at Free People, but more often than not, it looks tired. It looks like it's been washed a couple times. The coloring has faded. There's just so many ways it looks just exhausted. It looks worn. And I just feel like if you're going for more of a rich aesthetic, more elevated, you want to look more stylish, you want to look like your shit isn't cheap, then it needs to look brand new. It looks like it needs to, the coloring needs to be there, you know, it needs to be ironed. We got to bring back the iron. Okay, it needs to be ironed and tailored and looking like you just bought it out the store. I mean, personally, I love a tailored piece. I love a blazer. I love a long trench. I love a trouser that's perfectly tailored. So yeah, so that's something that I will always incorporate into my wardrobe. That's just a part of my style. But yes, I would definitely recommend, if you are trying to move away from looking cheap, then you really need to focus on building your wardrobe full of things that are of quality and fit well, and just generally have a newness to it. So that's it. Those are my tips on ways you could avoid looking cheap. I really hope you liked this video. Please leave a comment down below letting me know if you have any tips or if you disagree on the things that I'm saying. Let me hear it. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.
I went in there and I said, boom, boom.